Energy drink of choice. Guys, what's up? What's going on? We're here.
We're here. Welcome, everybody.
We're gonna let this run for a minute, guys. Let the audience build up a little bit. But myself, Dave Carroll, and my partner in crime, Mr. Jeremy Jennings, we are here for week 2 of our Traffic and Conversion Summit review. Jeremy and I were fortunate enough to attend the Traffic and Conversion Summit. What was it? 3 weeks ago now?
2 weeks? I don't know. Has it been 3 weeks already? It's
Time flies.
flying by.
I know I'm going balder, so a long time went by. We had the opportunity to attend this amazing event that just really, for guys like Jeremy and I that are kind of involved more on a higher level, we spend more of our time with this stuff. From us in the middle to guys that are just starting Facebook ads, all the way up to the speakers from this event. There's just so much information there that just for anyone on that spectrum really connected the dots for a lot of things that just the really simple takeaways I think were the most powerful thing for me. Was just the little things that I need to remind myself about, whether it's interacting with a customer, running an ad, telling a story. It's I try to pride myself on being this marketing guy, and it's so humbling when you get to go around or go to these events and be around people that are just they kind of bring you back to reality.
Mhm.
I don't know, Jeremy, if you want to elaborate on that a little
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's one of the reasons why we had, our first show was dedicated about, that there's a human on the other end of that computer. That's the core principle before you're even trying to start putting ads up or marketing online. If you don't write for a person, you're not going to have as good success as you would if you did, and I think that's why we had to start off with that one. And I think this week we got some more, really good tidbits for you here, and you're going to like it. We got some freebies for you. Dave, go ahead.
Nothing like some free stuff. I like that.
Yeah.
So really where we left off last week, like Jeremy was mentioning, was just understanding that, especially with online ads, there's someone on the other end of that computer. And really I still, since I left TNC, it's I remind myself of that every day. We actually, I'll tell a little story quick. We were doing our customer repeat calls the other day for my service business, Lionshare Maintenance. And I was listening from my office to the guys in the other room on the phone, and it's hey, this is Brandon over at Lionshare. Just wanted to check in and see if you. And it's you call me and start talking like that. I'm just leave me alone. What do you want? Can we get this? Can we speed this up and get it over with? So it resonated in my head. I was there's someone on the other end of that phone. Well, duh, Dave, we're calling someone. Of course there's someone on the other end of that phone. But I was thinking more about the communication. So I stopped and I opened my door. I was guys, pause, time out. I can't whistle loud, but if I could, I would have very loud. And I was guys, stop. This is what I want you to do now. On the next calls, instead of this kind of bland, hey, just seeing if you need something, I want you to say this and don't let the customer talk. So it was, hey, this is Dave over at Lionshare Maintenance. So I was watching the news this week, and I saw that it was going to be pretty rainy this weekend. I was seeing if you wanted to take advantage of, we have some gutter cleaning specials, or if you wanted to hear more about our Wash Away the Winter special. Before they get to talk, and it's just even if that's in person or on voicemail, you're hey, so, I was watching the weather this weekend. Their brain is either well, I was watching the weather too, or why is this person talking to me like they know me? I have to listen, they're being engaging. I have to be engaging. They're calling me to chat or talk or whatever, and just the first call that Brandon made when he got back on the phone, we booked a repeat customer who had never in their life, they had never spent more than $140 on us cleaning gutters. They went for the house wash with the exterior windows, with the gutters. We got them for $750, just off one little line. And this is where Jeremy will dive into it more, but making that connection and just not even understanding that the person is on the other end of that phone, but being able to tell a story, and not only tell a story, but tell a story that they relate to, because you identified who they were. You knew what story to tell them to get them to engage. So Jeremy, I'll tell you a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, Dave, you hit it on the head with that. I mean, that breaks down all the barriers when, when you're telling a story or relating on a personal level with your potential client, it catches them off guard, because everybody's tailored to, ads like buy this, buy that, do this, buy now, and so when you catch them off guard with like a story or something personal or a live video that you're putting on, it engages people. They take attention, something different. They're like, wait a minute, this person's real. Like, I'm gonna, you don't get shut down, and the good thing about the script that you told them to switch to, it caught their attention, number one. They related with them, number two, within a few seconds. That's all you got to have online or with the phone, before they say, no, thanks, I'm not interested, bye, or scroll down to the next, move on to the next one. So it caught their attention, grabbed them, and then you asked them two questions, and neither question they could say no to. You can't just say no. It's like, do you want this or that? And they're like, well, this. No. It's 101, and I think a lot of people forget that, that calling people on the phone is it's a different ballpark, but all the same strategies apply when you're running your ads online. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So before we get any deeper, I wanted to thank a lot of the viewers from last week that actually took action on what we were talking about, getting out on your business Facebook page and doing live videos. I'm sure I didn't see everybody that did it, but I've got Andrew from Kahuna Window Cleaning. I saw a video from you. That was really good. That was money. Josh Pitts, Mighty Mobile Power Washing. I saw your video. That was great as well. Bill, Bavarian Window Cleaning. I saw yours. If I missed anybody, I apologize. I tried to do a little digging, but I wasn't tagged in all of them. I knew Dave was tagged in a lot of them, and I didn't want to stalk him on the internet trying to see all the videos he was tagged in, because I'd be there for hours and hours. So if I missed you guys, I'm sorry, but keep it up, keep doing it every week. Keep your customers engaged. When they see that, they put a person behind your company, creates that connection. Now when they see an ad of yours, it's going to be a much easier sale. I'll let you go on to our next bullet point, Dave, that we're looking at. It leads right into it, that, telling stories, connecting with that customer instead of buy my stuff. You tell a story, and it's easier to get that sale when they get that engagement.
Exactly. And this, to lead into it, because Jeremy's got a really good story and a piece of information he's going to tell you about a show that probably a lot of us watch, but the concept of, like we did on the phone, with switching it up, being able to tell a story. It's not like we didn't go into some big elaborate thing. Yeah. We just wanted to make a connection. The customer could be so broad that something as small as hey, did you watch the news? Well, yeah, people watch the news, so they get that. But what we kind of, we were talking to a warm audience or a hot audience. They'd already purchased from us. They'd requested a bid. So that conversation is going to be a little bit different than one that you have with someone that maybe's never heard of you, or that doesn't have the awareness, or you haven't warmed that customer up. They're still cold. The story that takes place is much different, but what makes it so much easier, we have an advantage as the business owner. We have the ability to know what product, service, training, whatever it may be, we know what we're providing. We know what value we have. We also have a responsibility as the business owner or employee of the business to identify who we're giving this to. What you have, what you're selling, it is perfect for somebody. It's your job to identify who that person is prior to crafting the story, because the story that you're telling to a 32-year-old guy from Minnesota with tattoos who yells and chain smokes is going to be different than the story you tell to the 57-year-old woman with 2 kids and a cat who's divorced and works part-time because she got an inheritance when she was 40. We're 2 totally different people. You cannot have the same conversation. Yep. So that story and what you're crafting. The reason that we're going to give out this worksheet that we're going to give out is for all of you to be able to identify your perfect customer. I think I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Jeremy, why don't you dive into really like the story you're going to tell about our buddy that I had the great opportunity to shake hands with. I saw the one.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if a lot of people watching this know who Marcus Lemonis is, but he's on the show The Profit, been on for a few seasons on CNBC. He's all about people, process, procedure. It's all 3 points. Guy's right on point, but he doesn't invest in a company or buy a company or help out a company unless the first people. There has to be a story behind that company, because when he knows the story behind the company, it makes it so much easier to sell. Once you have that story set up of yourself, your business, not necessarily like a background story, is a very vague word. It's more almost like a tagline for your business, but why are you there? Why do you do what you do? That's the story. Well, you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't like doing it. And if you're doing something you don't like doing, maybe you should find something else to do. So he has this, Marcus Lemonis has a new show called The Partner. And if anybody watches it and you haven't seen last week's episode, this is a spoiler alert, so you can just mute it or something. But I'm not going to give out any nitty gritty details. I'm going to tell you a story from because we're talking about stories. But so basically there's these two teams, two people. Marcus goes, okay, you're going to be in the mall. Each of you are going to have a kiosk. Here's 6 of my products, 6 of my consumer products: purse, candles, popcorn, candy, and some watches that he sells or that he's an investor in. And he gives them both. You can pick whatever products you want. Set up your display. Whatever. So one team goes, grabs 4 different things. They're like, oh, it'd be easy to sell popcorn and candy and candles and T-shirts. So they grab those. The other people grab the same thing pretty much, but got the purses as well. So they're putting all this different stuff together in a kiosk and trying to sell it to people walking by, and they were getting sales here and there. But they were convoluting the message. They didn't look at the story behind the products. Every single one of those products had a story behind them. Maybe it was a guy who's been in the business for 5 generations, the family business, and he's makes the best cookies in the world or candy in the world or popcorn. But they didn't tell the story. So basically when Marcus Lemonis came out, before they even started selling anything, they said both these teams they lost. They missed the mark by a mile. Checks in with them 3 hours into it. How much did you sell? $180, $190. Okay, that's not even going to pay the rent on the kiosk. So you guys obviously failed. He goes, I'm going to show you a lesson. He went right around the corner, same mall, called a lady from his office, not a salesperson, just a regular admin lady at his office, set up a table, threw a tablecloth on it, and put these watches on these tables. That's it. No sign, no nothing, just these watches sitting there. 10 different watches for $40. 10% of the sales goes to charity. Each watch represents a different charity. 10 charities, 10%, 10 watches, $40. Within a half hour, she had doubled the sales that both of those places had in 3 hours. By the end of the day, within 1 hour, or she went for 1 hour. At the end of the day, the other people, that table sold as much as the other 2 tables combined the whole day that she did in 1 hour, because there was a story. People related to the charities. She said, look, we have autism, we have breast cancer, and whatever the other 8 charities were. But every person that came by, they related with a story. And they were like, oh, I know somebody that has this. My mother's a survivor from this, or my friend has this. And so they bought just to donate that 10% to charity because there was a story behind the product. They made that connection. When you tell that story, the selling goes out the window. You're just like, look, this is what I got, this is me, and this is what we do, you want it? And they're like, yeah, because I like you, I know you, I made that connection. You're not, here, buy this watch now. It's a total different process, and it makes it so much easier to convert ads, sales when you're talking on the phone, anything, when you can make that connection and tell a story. I didn't want to drag it on too long. We did have the chance to see Marcus Lemonis at Funnel Hacking Live last year, and I think my biggest takeaway from his speech, he likes to get the story from the person and find their vulnerability, because when you know what you're scared of or what makes you hurt, and you can convey that to your audience, that makes them connect with you so much more. It's just like, I'm scared to do a Facebook Live video, good, say that, because that's what people connect with, because they're like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever you say it comes after that, that's gold. You have their attention.
Just the reality, like to say something like the Facebook Live video, I hear so often people are like, oh, Dave, I'm not the type like you to get on camera and do. Guys, just wing it, like the whole time, and people appreciate. Like, think of a time in your life that someone has been completely transparent with you and you didn't appreciate them for it. You can't, because it didn't happen. Like, when someone shows you all of their cards, you can always trust them. And so in business, when you can break down that barrier and just simply be like, look, I get it. Like, the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing for you is because I went through this myself and realized that I was interested in enough to solve this pain for other people. It's not like, oh, this makes people feel so. How could you not be comfortable with some guy? Let's say you own something simple like a window cleaning company. If you call the company and you ask the guy, like, why do you clean windows for a living? He's like, I just did it one day and I really liked it and I figured I wanted to do it forever. You're like, hell yeah, dude. When can you be in my house? Like, full transparency. If you apply that to your business, and it was really cool with, like, when Marcus spoke, his whole intro, or like when you do public speaking, you break it down into 5 parts. Like when you're writing a paper, intro, outro, and then the 3 body paragraphs or whatever. And his whole first segment of his talk was just talking about how he went through abuse when he was a kid, his insecurities, all the things, and he just broke us down as an audience to where we were so open and receptive. Like, if I was a girl and it was 2:30 in the morning, I would have went home. Let's put it that way. And it's wide open. And being able to apply that to your business, you don't need to get dramatic to the point of making someone want to cry when you talk to them. The transparency, it's just beyond powerful.
Yeah. The art of telling, of storytelling. It's that was a good. Oh yeah, you got it. I think mine's.
You guys,
right here.
If you don't have this book, if you don't have this, I'm going to post a link to it right now.
This one.
Yeah. If you do not have this book, need to get it. There's the link. It's free.
It's free. Yeah, it's pay for shipping.
Every day, if you see, let me find one of my crazy pages. I'm just writing all over the place in this thing, just, referring back to things all the time.
Yeah, anytime when I run into something what should I do here? What would Russell do? And grab the book, he puts little pictures in there, makes it easy to find that section. And it's like this, or Dave will come at me with the new, campaign he's working on or a new project idea, and he would ask me a question, and then I would go, well, let's look at chapter 5. What would he say? How does pre-framing work? Literally, this is gold. It's free. All you got to do is pay for shipping, and he's got a new one coming out. It should be released any day now. I've been waiting a year for it, but definitely the Bible. Money well spent. It's free. I mean, it costs $5 or $6 for shipping, but who cares?
And you guys, I just got a message. Can you guys hear us? I got some feedback. I know. I'll close my door in my office.
Yeah, let me close my window. See if that helps.
Dad, we're getting a little feedback or something. I don't know how much better that is. I got to get an area rug in here. I'm doing too much video and.
Yeah, I have my window open. Might have been my fault as well, but.
Can you guys get it? Is it better now? Give us a comment or something, or else we'll just keep going and being robots. Audio cuts in and out occasionally.
All right.
Whatever. Keep going.
Well, I mean, hopefully, Facebook Live will have the ability to do face-to-face like this here very soon. I noticed that they released some new features this week, letting you notify people in groups when you're getting ready to go live. A lot of the features that the software, had, they're starting to already incorporate into Facebook. So maybe when they bring it over to their platform, it'll work a little bit better. But you got to work with the cards that you're dealt with right now. So hopefully the feedback's not too bad. Dave, you put that you put the link there for the book for everybody, right?
The link for the book is there. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Put that up here.
Cool. So next week, we are going to be talking about the perfect Facebook ad template. I mean, it's literally a template you can use for any business at all, but to be able to use this tool, you really need to understand who your customer is. Otherwise, when we tell you the 8 steps and, you know, the different elements of the ad and how to do it, which we're going to go into detail next week, you need to know who your customer is. Sometimes people call it a customer avatar, a customer persona worksheet. We need to put that together. And I realize, you know, a lot of you might not have that right now. Dave, I think that's one of the freebies. Another one, obviously, we got the freebie book. You just pay them for shipping. If you message us, we opened a new Facebook page specifically for this weekly marketing show. Dave's going to drop the link right now. It's called the Night Owl Marketing Show.
Bam.
Go to that page, message us. Just send us a message right here. Hit that link right there. Just hit message. Say hi, and then it'll automatically send you the customer avatar worksheet for things that you need to fill out prior to our show next week. We're going to give you, like, you know, the meat and the potatoes of it. We're going to tell you how to write the perfect Facebook ad, you know, and we're not going to say it cracks a code and this is like the end all glory and this is the only thing you do. It's just another tool to add to your toolbox. You know, it's not like you don't have to do anything else if you do this template. It's just another saw to add, you know, another hammer, a power drill, I guess more so in this case, because it opened my eyes when I mean, this was, I would say, top 2 or 3 of the presentations, the classes that we went to. I mean, maybe number 1. It was up there. It was really
top two for sure.
Yeah, we're going to share that with you, but you need to have a customer avatar worksheet done before next week. Otherwise, the stuff we tell you doesn't really make sense. So it's sort of like homework. So go to facebook.com/Night Owl Marketing Show. Just send us a message, say hi. You'll automatically, Dave set up some robot like somewhere. There's like R2D2 in an office that's like replying to you guys like with this. So just send it. Like he's all into the spot stuff. So you guys. And, you know, when you guys are filling out the detailed sheet, you know, you try to give a face and a name to who you're speaking to when you write your ads. You know, when you get that perfect template, this puts a face right behind it, and it goes to what we were talking about last week. There's a human on the other side of this computer. So what are some of the things, Dave, they should be looking for when they're filling out the sheet and thinking about?
Sorry, so guys, first off, you know what? The feedback's coming in my head. I can hear it like gurgling. So first off, and this guys, it goes a lot into what I try to pound into people's heads, especially for local businesses. Direct response advertising. You need to identify your customer. And this, like, you start from the top, think of it like a pyramid. Like, you just learn more about them. You want to identify who they are first. So are they a male or a female? How old are they? Where do they live? Do they have children? What's their marital status? You know, now you're kind of getting the gist of it. Think of what you do for a living. Think of the product that you like to provide the most. You know, and obviously if you're a realtor and you sell houses, that's going to be a little bit different for a guy who has a shoe store or a clothing store and has 50 products or something. Think of in a perfect world, it's every product you offer. But to keep it simple, think of the thing that you like to sell people or you like for people to buy from you the most. You want to take and identify that person, everything I just named, name, where they live, age, marital status, do they have kids? But now let's go deeper. Like, what books are they reading? What music do they listen to when they're bored? You know, where do they like to shop? Like, you want to go as granular as possible. You know, you want to get down, think granular, like a grain of sand. The reason that you want to identify all this stuff, you know, does the wife stay at home with the kids while the husband goes and works? the reason you're identifying this stuff to people, guys, is so that you can know how to tell them this story, how to take them by the hand and walk them down this path of identifying your customer, crafting an offer for them, and creating some urgency behind it. That's direct response marketing in a box. And without taking that first initial step, that's why it's required, guys. You have to message our Facebook page, get this avatar worksheet, because if you don't do this, just take your wallet out, find whatever money you got in your pocket, and just like, instead of putting it on ads, like spending it on ads, just set it on fire. You're doing the exact same thing. Like, if you're not directing your marketing to a person, you're doing it wrong. But now directing marketing to a person, that's not just being like, okay, I'm going to send this marketing to someone. It's like, you need to make it about them. Your customers are selfish as hell. They don't care about all the stuff that you do. I don't know if we go into the chili stuff.
Yeah,
Save that.
No, yeah, but when you can identify these, you know, the people down to the granular, you know, area that he's talking about, you're able to like touch on their pain points. You know what's going to trigger them to think a certain way. You know how whatever you're selling, you're helping somebody in some way. So being able to convey that message to your ideal person, when you have that picture and you know, like Dave brought up earlier, somebody that's this age, you know, that's younger, this and that, they're going to have different pain points. And so that's somebody that's a lot older, different, you know, male or female, they're going to have different pain points. I know we all have different buttons, and the more that you can understand about your customer, when we teach you how to craft the perfect Facebook ad next week, if you have that ammunition, then all you got to do is follow the template, and chances are your ad's going to do really well, as long as you do a couple other things right. But
at least
exactly, just better than just throwing something at the wall and seeing if it sticks. Yeah, so if you guys, you know, want to tune in, I think next week we are going to put the marketing show onto Night Owl Marketing Show's Facebook page. I think we're going to go live on that. So if you don't want to miss out, just hit like on that page and you'll get notified. Get that free customer avatar worksheet on there. Hit Dave's link there for getting the free book. You know, literally this book takes like 2 days to read, a day, you know, so if you could, you know, get this on its way, and you might even be able to read the book before next week's episode, and that'll put you like levels ahead of people. I know Dave has a group, a lot of people have read the book, and I've watched them just how much better they've gotten within like 2 months at doing what they're doing. They're like, it's opened my eyes. I never thought, like, I cleaned windows for a living and never thought that this, you know, .com secrets would make a difference in my business. But just like by the time I got in the second chapter, they're like, oh, I could have done this and this and this. How much money have I been leaving on the table just because I didn't read a stupid book, you know?
And that's it, guys. It's connecting the small dots. So the ability to really, like, there's a lot that goes into marketing. There are people that do this strictly for a living. And so trying to be the marketing division of your company can be hard at times. And it's just like being patient and taking the steps to understand anything. We've used the examples before. You can't just like walk into the hospital and tap the doctor on the shoulder and be like, hey, doc, pass that coat and that scalpel over. I'm going to handle this, without ever having, like, these guys go to medical school. Like, they learn all this stuff. Or the mechanic. It's not like I can go across the street to the shop where they're working on one of our trucks, like, move over there, Jimmy, pass that wrench. I'm gonna get in here on this tranny. It's like, you can't, you have to take the steps. And why, you know, Jeremy and I get on and do this stuff is because we can identify the pains of what you guys go through. We own businesses just like yours. We also happen to be a little bit more involved in marketing and advertising, but like from the service business standpoint, you can't just like swan dive head first into the deep end without learning how to swim.
Right.
So we just got our little floaties on, guys. We're just trying to get it together a little bit. Like, we're gonna move. So, like Jeremy said, the show is gonna stay standard on Thursdays, but next week we're gonna do it on Friday. For those of you in my Facebook group, you guys have heard of it, the Don't Suck It Facebook group. We actually have a webinar next Thursday where I was just talking about direct response advertising. we actually go over, we spend a full 45 minutes on what direct response advertising is and how to use it in writing Facebook ads for your service business that are actually going to work for you and make some money. So I'll post the link selfishly to that here for our webinar. I want all you guys come and learn. We're going to do just like we do here in the group. I got a couple giveaways. If you guys register for the webinar, we give you one of the modules out of the course. We got a couple downloads. I think one of those might include this customer avatar worksheet. So you guys are already getting stuff for free.
Get that free just by going to our new Facebook page and shooting us a message, and you don't even have to tune in.
So you guys check out this webinar link. I'm posting it now in the group. Feel free to register. It's next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 o'clock for you West Coast guys, 8 o'clock for you guys and gals out on the East Coast. Facebook 101 for your service business. My shameless plug of the
Yeah. Get off the soapbox, Dave. But we are going to have the same weekly show next week. We're going to do it on Friday again. Again, we're going to put it on Night Owl Marketing Show. It's going to be on that page. So if you guys want to get notified, just go on there, like the page. If you want the free customer avatar, just shoot us a message. R2D2 will send you the customer avatar without us doing anything. So David is bots. He's got like a bunch of
my robot. He's sensitive.
But next week we are going to dive into the 8 elements of the perfect Facebook ad. But again, if we give you that information without knowing who your customer is and how you're going to be able to touch on those pain points, giving you the blueprints on how to build the house without teaching you how to build the house, it's not going to be as beneficial. So grab that customer avatar. Dave, is there anything else you wanted to chime in on this show? I mean,
just guys, as we continue to take these transitions online here together, just remember that it's a process, but at the same time, like, you can't be wrong if you don't try. What I mean by that is, like, even if you feel uncomfortable, you don't have this all figured out. This could relate to a mailing piece you're going to send out, a Facebook ad you're going to run, any piece of marketing material. Guys, you got to try something. Put it out there and test it to see if it works, and then improve on something. I know I have a horrible habit of having like 3 or 4 ideas, then I'll just like get all like balls to the wall about them and get them to like 70%, and then I'll be like on the phone with Jeremy like, do you think this is actually going to work? He's like, remember when I told you when you thought of that? Like, you should just hang on for a second and do a little research. It's like having the ability, guys, to identify you're a business owner. You're smart. You're important. You went and got a tax ID. You started a business. Trusting yourself when putting out your marketing and knowing that no matter what you put out, it can only get better.
Yeah. You will fail 100% of the time on things you don't try.
Bam.
That's it.
Yeah. So that's what we got for the week, guys. Awesome of you guys. We appreciate you hanging out as always.
Yep.
Webinar Thursday of next week at 7, and then we'll do our Night Owl Marketing Show at 4 p.m. Pacific time on Friday.
Yep, and to get notified, hit that Facebook page, Night Owl Marketing Show. Just hit like, and we'll be able to send out a notification, to all of you, and we'll give you the perfect Facebook ad template next week, as long as you have your avatars filled out, your customer worksheets.
Have your avatar done, so message the page.
Yep, R2D2 send it to you. Hit message.
I have to go check on my robot. Jeremy keeps making fun of me. I'm making fun of him. I think I hear him crying in the other room.
You got to change batteries.
You guys have a good weekend.
All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Later.
Have a good weekend. Bye.